Okay. Welcome, everyone. My name is Andreas Waller. I'm the Business Development Manager for OCI. And while this event is virtual, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of First Nations, comprised of the Ojibwe, the Ottawa, and the Potawatomi peoples. We're grateful to work, learn, and live in this area. So with that, I want to welcome everyone to today's webinar that will give you an overview of the Encore program, as well as an example of a use case for using the 5G platform to develop products and services of the future. First of all, I'd like to thank all our partners. Marketing and webinar platform is arranged and supported by We Tech Alliance, represented by Shreya Sheth, Manager of Programs and Events, and I'm Adam Castle, Director of Venture Services. Our testbed platform partner, Encore, is represented by Paul Baptista, Head of Encore for Ericsson, as well as George Brinto, Tier 1 support for Encore, also from Ericsson. Our guest of honor and local Windsor-Essex Corporation is i-5O, or I-50, is represented by Kizer Hyatt, Chief Innovation Officer, and Ruben Walker, Deep Learning Engineer. So let's see. As a first point on our agenda, I'd like to invite Adam Castle up to the virtual podium to give a brief introduction to We Tech Alliance.
Thanks so much, Andreas. And I'd like to start by thanking my team for producing today's event and for engaging our partners at OCI on today's collaboration. For those of you who are unfamiliar with We Tech Alliance, we are a regional innovation center providing business growth support services to Windsor-Essex and Chatham-Kent. Representing Canada's South Coast as we do, we spend a lot of time thinking about ways to break down the barriers of the digital divide. How do we ensure that companies from our region have all of the access they need to the same tools their counterparts from larger metropolitan areas can already tap into? Connectivity is no small hurdle for businesses in today's world. The pace of business isn't slowing down, and companies who want to be competitive in Canada need to be able to plug into infrastructure regardless of where they're geographically located, which makes today's demonstration a really important one. Encore 5G's tagline, "Stronger networks, smarter communities," underlines the need beautifully. Connectivity is an equalizer, and Encore 5G, representing investments by the Canadian, Ontario, and Quebec governments, as well as 5 major technology companies, in a strong example of investment that helps keep Canadian companies running at the speed of business. Kizer and his team at i-5O have worked exceptionally hard to develop a product that not only uses next-generation technology, but in real-world applications, leveraging 5G becomes an even more powerful tool to measure and improve manual production processes. I know they're excited to show you what they've built, and so at this time, I'm going to turn it right back over to my colleague from the Ontario Centres of Innovation, Andreas Waller. Andreas, thank you as well for making today happen and all of the hard work that went in behind the scenes to make sure everyone came and collaborated here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. On that note, I want to say a few words about OCI. So OCI stands for Ontario Centre of Innovation. It's a nonprofit organization with its mission to bring industry, academic, and government partners together and invest in collaborative R&D, technology development, and commercialization opportunities that will generate the highest return on innovation for Ontarians. Our mandate is to develop and deliver programs that accelerate the development and commercialization and adoption of advanced technologies to drive job creation. So one of these programs is called Encore 5G. It is a joint federal and provincial project in Ontario and Quebec with our industry partners Ericsson, Ciena, Tails, IBM, and CGI. OCI's role is to promote the program, vet participating companies, and administer the funding available for projects that are utilizing the platform. Currently, there's no funding available for projects, but the platform remains open for another 6 months for SMEs to test and develop their technologies for the future until the next stage of Encore will commence. So we're honored to have Paul Baptista with us today to give an overview of Encore. Paul is the head of Encore for Ericsson and is joining us from Montreal. We did have some issues with the connectivity here. So Paul is present but not able to speak or be seen. But he's available for questions in the chat function. So I will just read a quick little note on Encore 5G. So Encore 5G, and Encore stands for Evolution of Network Services through a Corridor in Quebec and Ontario for Research and Innovation. It's a transformational Canada-Québec-Ontario partnership focused on research and innovation in the field of 5G disruptive technologies, on adoption initiatives, and system uses. Encore 5G establishes the first Canadian pre-commercial corridor of 5G digital infrastructure, the key to making the digital economy a reality. And if you would go to the Encore website, you'll see that we've hit the 800 mark of the number of companies that have accessed the platform. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of i-5O's experience utilizing the platform, I'd like to invite Kizer Hyatt to the virtual podium to give an overview of his company. Kizer, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Andreas, and good evening, everyone. Sorry, I share my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen? Okay, perfect. I guess so. Thank you, Andreas, for the introduction. So I'm Kizer Hyatt, the Chief Innovation Officer and co-founder of i-5O, and we are an AI computer vision company for manual production processes. So our leadership team has significant experience previously working with startups, as well as in manufacturing, working for the likes of Schlumberger and Toyota. And we have significant deep learning knowledge, both hiring from the University of Windsor, our chief scientist, Dr. Jie Hu, and we have formed technology partnerships for R&D work with Dr. Jonathan Wu and Afshan Rahimi at the University of Windsor, and they're critical to our success as a company. Some of the clients we work with include the top tier automotive OEMs such as Suzuki, Honda, as well as other companies such as ArcelorMittal, Pride Mobility. And then we're backed by some of Silicon Valley's largest seed funds, including the Alchemist Accelerator, Sterling Road, Industrious Ventures, and work significantly with OCI and CERC, as well as MyText for grants for research and development purposes. Now, our mission as a company is to measure and improve manual production processes using AI-powered vision systems. So some of you might be familiar with the manufacturing landscape, but despite all the talk about automation in manufacturing, over 70% of tasks are still very manual. And because of that, humans also account for almost 75% of the variation in manufacturing, which costs the industry $6 trillion a year. And so our goal was to develop a platform that augments management with insights, providing them continuous real-time data into their manual production operations to avoid defects or improve operational efficiencies that result from manual errors or inefficiencies in manual processes in general. And the way our system works is we essentially install cameras and add continuous visibility into manual production processes. Our system then creates a digital twin of the physical world and then starts producing insights so that users can optimize their asset utilization as well as reduce process deviations and waste in production operations. And so you can see on the right a quick overview of what our platform looks like in terms of the computer vision play. We track the operations on the floor, and then it gets displayed in a nice dashboard to indicate the different operational metrics that are used by manufacturers to improve their production operations. The value of our system is in improving the safety, improving the quality as well as improving production flow in production operations. And so thank you for your time. I would like to now hand off to Ruben Walker, who's our deep learning engineer, to discuss the 5G initiative that we took upon in partnership with OCI and Encore and the results that we obtained. So on to you, Ruben. Thank you.
All right, if I could just sneak in here a little bit. This is kind of the intro to Ruben. Sorry about that. But as you will see today, you do not need to physically be at one of the 3 test beds for the development work. From the comfort of your office or even your couch, all testing and development can be done remotely through our Ottawa site. And the 3 sites that we have in the Encore system is in Ottawa at Invest Ottawa and also in Toronto at the Mars Discovery District. As well as the Communitech building at the University of Waterloo. So our Tier 1 support staff will assist you in setting up and running your systems on the platform. And so with this is the moment you've been waiting for, the reveal of how development works actually looks like on the platform and how it performs and what it means for a company like i-5O. For that, Ruben and George will now give us a demonstration of i-5O's technologies on a full 5G network. Take it away, Ruben.
Thank you, Andreas, so much for the introduction, and thank you everyone for coming here today. So I'm here today to showcase how using the 5G testbed has helped our company better understand certain bottlenecks in our pipeline that can be eliminated by implementing some of these solutions. So to begin, I'll provide a bit more information on our pipeline, as this includes important context as to why we wanted to perform the testing that we did. I'll then expand on where our deep learning, I'll go over a deep learning demo and how it fits into our pipeline and why the retrieval of the raw video feeds is very important to our overall business and our overall pipeline. I'll showcase exactly what testing we performed, as well as just how easy it is to perform those testing using the remote testbed access. And then finally, I'll follow up by expanding on some of the results we obtained from the testing and potential solutions or new possibilities that 5G would bring for our company and our product. So this is just an overall view of our pipeline. So what we want to end with is a web portal that our clients can access that holds all the specific metrics on how their facility and how their processes are doing. And so once fully operational, a high-level overview of our pipeline is fairly straightforward. Cameras can be dispersed around a facility, looking at key operations or steps in the manufacturing chain. And these cameras can be used to track almost any performance metric or key performance indicator continuously. Pretty much if you can see it, or if we can see it, we can track it. These feeds are then, these camera feeds are then fed into an edge device that stores our deep learning models, as well as some pre-processing of the model output based on the requirements of the specific deployment. These records are then sent from our clients' facilities to be stored in the cloud. And once they're stored in the cloud, they can be accessed and analyzed across time to produce the desired metrics that are then accessed directly from our web portal whenever our clients would like to build certain reports. There's a lot more that goes into this pipeline that goes on behind the scenes that makes it work seamlessly, but these are at least the major steps. So right now I'll play a demo of our one of our deep learning models, and I'll explain sort of why the raw video feeds are so important for the success of our pipeline. So for the pipeline I just described, uploading video from our edge device to our cloud storage is not necessary. The only thing that is necessary is upload our records, which has a relatively low bandwidth requirement. However, the high-level overview I just gave does not include training and maintaining our deep learning models, which is at the core of our product. We require these video feeds to initially understand our client's processes and their requirements, to annotate video to train our deep learning models, and to continuously validate and improve our metric production. Our models usually achieve accuracies in the very high 90s. However, it is very important to us to continuously check and validate this. So we can see here just one example of our model in action. This particular model validates that all the steps in the manufacturing process of this particular product are done properly. But also from this view, we could obtain particular metrics such as capacity, as well as working efficiency continuously. So instead of having an individual or a supervisor standing there all the time, they can simply access our dashboard and create a report of any time frame. So now I'll get into a bit of the testing that we performed on the 5G testbed. So I've already explained the importance of the video feeds. So particularly what we wanted to test on the 5G testbed is just how many continuous video feeds we're able to achieve. Because right now, one of the bottlenecks we have is that with our client's network, current networks, we can only upload a certain amount of feeds continuously, which, as I described previously, is important for our model and validating our model continuously. So the testing process is very simple. As we're just seeing how 5G is improving our existing pipeline, a lot of the necessary code and infrastructure can be extracted directly from what we already have. So all I have to do as the engineer performing the test is compile the necessary code and resources, set up the proper credentials and environment through the remote access, and then hop on a call with the person performing the testing on site and just walk through all the testing processes and just provide them with all the resources, and it's very straightforward. So what I showed here is just part of the testing that was done via remote access using the 5G facility in Ottawa when I'm based here in Waterloo. So we performed the testing both on the 5G network as well as representation of our client's current network capabilities just as a control, just as a baseline. So this is the direct results of one of the tests. The one that I had just previously showed, as can be seen here. We're uploading a sample video continuously. This does not just test the speed of the 5G network, but our whole pipeline, at least that particular part of the pipeline. This is important and useful as it allows us to easily identify any bottlenecks that could exist. And although we did not find any particular in this case, it's a good opportunity to fix those if they do come up. So I'll now go into some of the other results of the testing, including exactly how many more cameras we found we were able to continuously stream, how 5G would improve some of our camera downtime, and how we can now use a variable position camera, and the improvement in model download time. So this is the key metric we were looking to test on the 5G platform, and this showed a more than 3 times improvement from existing capabilities. This means we could continuously stream 27 more feeds, or approximately 39 feeds total. And this is huge for us as our product improves exponentially. The more our clients' facility we can view within the camera, and more key performance indicators that we can track. If you imagine, it's the difference between, say, a third of our client's facility being completely online and 100%. And this is massively important when they are trying to identify bottlenecks in their processes, as if they're just looking at a small portion of it, then they don't see where other bottlenecks could lie. Another solution that access to a 5G network would solve is our camera downtime. Purely relying on our client's network does pose some challenges in reliability. This graph here shows across a couple months, sometimes that the camera does go down. And although with our edge device, we are able to buffer some of the records so that we don't use some of our clients' valuable data, the same thing can't as easily be done for the video feeds, as it's just a larger memory requirement. So having access to our own network, or having access to our own network, allows us to control more variables when deploying models and solutions, and it's just better all around. And then another possibility with the 5G network, having it installed or available within the building, is a variable position camera, as we are no longer reliant on hard connections from our cameras to our edge device. A camera could potentially move around within the facility as long as it has access to power. It has no other requirement. And this is just one of the many ideas that was sparked from the 5G testing. Finally, I'd like to talk about the time taken to download our machine learning models. As these files are usually quite large, they require usually a significant amount of time to download to the edge device, and this can be a cause for downtime. And by improving network speed and just the overall network bandwidth, we are able to reduce this time significantly, as can be seen in this graph, and reduce the downtime of our edge device each time we want to update an improved model. Thank you for coming once again, and I will now hand it back over to Andreas.
Great. Thank you, Ruben. Very interesting and exciting to hear your development on this, on your product, but also how the product in engagement on the platform can really kind of have a crystal ball, or see into the future of how you can use it, right? So feel free to everyone to put your questions. I'm not sure if are we able to bring audio in, or are we doing questions on text only? I'm not sure. Maybe that could be something for our Shreya to clarify. But I wanted to ask, so how has this experience been for you guys to work on the platform? I mean, you've been both on the platform and also working remotely. Tell me a little bit about your experience, and maybe there's some aha moments or things that you didn't really expect from the beginning.
Certainly. So I've now had both the opportunity to go on site to one of the facilities as well as working remotely, and I can just confidently say that in either case, it was a very seamless process. Like it's literally, well, in the on-site visit, plug and play to hook up like my laptop to the 5G network, and then from remote access, I don't even have to do that. So it's very seamless.
Great. And on the product platform, or the service platform that you have, if I were a shop owner, or I'm running a manufacturing plant, or a restaurant, or having processes that have to do with people performing tasks, and I'd like to monitor, but also to manage the workflow and make sure that my employees are doing well. What do you think are the biggest takeaways from going on to a 5G network, as you see from your development? What is the added value for me as managing a plant or an operations?
Certainly. So in terms of in improvements, it's more so you'll be able to install more cameras to watch more parts of your facility.
Right.
You'll be able to have those cameras operational more of the time. You'll be able to get reports of the metrics to do with your model more reliably. Your cameras will be up more reliably, and ultimately you'll just be able to gain a better picture of how your facility is doing.
Great. Okay. And so I'd like to remind everyone also that we will be moving to a networking mode, and you will automatically be placed at random tables to facilitate our virtual networking segment that we have coming up soon. And I was wondering about that, because to me, I mean, I've seen a little bit about your presentations and your technology, but I would imagine that for resolution of issues, you would kind of get to the issues quicker, or know what has happened, so you can do these corrective actions quicker. Is that a fair statement, do you think?
Certainly, both on the client side in terms of bottlenecks within their whole pipeline, as well as on our end, if for some reason one of our clients' processes change and we need to retrain our models accordingly to fit those new requirements, or a particular issue with one of our clients' processes, we'd be able to we'd have access to both more video to retrain our models and such.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think you made it very clear to everyone. I don't see any questions, and maybe we can bring the questions and the discussions into the networking session. So when we get there, if you want to speak to any of the representatives from any of the organizations, please double click on the table that is assigned to them. If you have any questions, please directly message the CDMN or admin account for troubleshooting if you have any issues. So with that, thank you everyone, and we'll see you at the table.